Alright, so we're here for a Xenoverse 2 video, and as most of you know, we did get the new trailer for the up-and-coming DLC pack for Xenoverse 2, and in that trailer, we got a lot, so we're not going to be going over everything specifically revealed in the trailer, just because most of you probably already know all about it. It's been out for a couple days, but I did want to do a video speculating on characters we could see for the DLC pack, because in this DLC pack, we got it revealed there's going to be 3 new characters, at least as we know of right now. 2 of the characters have been revealed. We're going to get Goku Black, Super Xenoervse, Ultra Supervillain, which is the new, I guess, Supervillain enhanced transformation we're getting. And then Vegeta's going to have one as well in a Super Saiyan God form, which, if you guys haven't seen the trailer, which I know is highly unlikely, but I got to show you, it's basically Ultra Ego. So, I mean, even though in the last trailer, we got that little teaser at the end of Ultra Ego, and it's not Ultra Ego, which does suck, we're still getting something very similar to that if this can load. Don't really know why it's not loading, but I guess it doesn't really matter. Most of you probably saw it anyway. Very similar to Ultra Ego, so that's definitely good. It's a little unfortunate we're not getting Ultra Ego, but no Dragon Ball game has gotten the manga stuff as it stands, so it's kind of what we expected in the first place. But you can see here, below Goku Black and Vegeta, a bunch of question marks, and that is under the additional playable characters. So that means there is going to be one more character that we know for sure we're getting for this DLC pack, but we don't know exactly who it's going to be. Now, I see them going down 2 different roads for this. Number 1, it's another Ultra Supervillain character, which, from what we see here, the Ultra Supervillain characters aren't restricted to just the bad guys. It doesn't just have to be, you know, your Frieza, Cells, Majin Buus, Jirens, or your antagonist of the series. It can be someone like Vegeta, or I'm assuming a Goku, Fusion, something like that, which I think would be really cool, which we're going to get into now. So my first choice for another supervillain character would be a Vegeta or a Gogeta. I think both of them could be really cool. Not really a whole lot to talk about because we don't really know exactly what the supervillain, I guess, transformation or the Ultra Supervillain transformation is. All we know is it gives them, like, I guess, a pink aura. And then that's pretty much it. And it makes them kind of a bad guy because we see Vegeta fighting Goku in the trailer. But other than that, not really a whole lot to go off of. But I'm just assuming because, you know, Vegeta and Gogeta are your big money makers, it would make sense to give them the supervillain transformation and throw them in the DLC pack as the 3rd character. But, of course, this also could be just a completely new character, has nothing to do with Ultra Supervillain, but we'll talk about that after we talk about some of the characters I think we could get as Ultra Supervillains. So next up, we've got pretty much all of the major antagonists. We've got, like, Cell, Frieza, Buu, Z Broly. I know Yamcha and Mira are here. I don't really think they're going to get an Ultra Supervillain, but hey, it's possible. I mean, for this DLC pack, we're really walking in blind. It's not like there's a theme, I guess, right? Because the 2 characters is a Super Saiyan God Vegeta and a Goku Black. Not really any consistency there. It's not like, I don't know, the superhero DLC pack where obviously, you know, we're going to get our Beast Gohan, we're going to get Orange Piccolo, so you can kind of fill in the blanks there. But with this, it's a little more difficult to predict. So if we are going to get another Ultra Supervillain character, I think getting one of the main bad guys, again, like Frieza, Cell, Majin Buu, Z Broly, would make sense because, you know, they're pretty big names in Dragon Ball and they would definitely make a good amount of money for them. And as we know, that's pretty much Xenoverse's main motive. Look, I'm not saying Xenoverse doesn't put effort into their DLCs, but we're almost 20 damn DLC packs into this game, so it's very obvious money is a big motive for them. So I think, you know, one of the big villains would make sense to be in this DLC. And then next up, we've got Super Broly. I think Super Broly would be good, again, because he's kind of a newer villain, even though he's not really a villain. But, you know, his movie was a couple years ago, so he's relatively new in terms of antagonist. And I think he could be a pretty cool character. Once again, not really a whole lot to talk about because we don't really know what the Ultra Supervillain thing is all about. So I don't really know what a Broly Ultra Supervillain would look like, except it would look pretty damn cool. I mean, the pink and green aura mixed together. I don't know. In my head, that seems like that could be pretty cool. But next up, we got Jiren. Very similar to Broly. He's kind of a newer antagonist, so I feel like he would make for, you know, a pretty cool Ultra Supervillain character. But then I guess that's pretty much it. Those are all the characters I personally would like to see as Ultra Supervillains. So I wanted to go over a couple characters that are literally in the game's files, that all they have to do is push a couple buttons, and then we have them as playable characters, but for some reason, we just don't have. So obviously, like I said, Xenoverse likes to make money, so I'm assuming they're saving these characters for a DLC pack just to throw in there for some extra content, and it would make sense if we got one of these characters as the 3rd character, because again, they're already in the game, they already have a moveset, they already have combos, all that. You know, you can see them in the game, just not actually play as them, so once more, it would make sense for them just to just throw him in the DLC. It's the extra third character on top of the 2 new characters, and then that's that. You got a perfectly well-rounded DLC pack in your hands. So first off, we've got Rage Trunks. Rage Trunks, probably one of the worst transformations in all of Dragon Ball, but, you know, it's Trunks. He looks badass. I still want it. Whatever. I know, type in the comments that it's a horrible transformation, but it's still cool, man. Like, you can't deny. He still did some cool stuff, I think. Actually, I'm pretty sure he got his ass beat. Anyway, Rage Trunks would be cool. Next up, we got half-corrupted Zamasu. Pretty sure you can play as this guy in the Crystal Raid boss, so technically he's already playable, but not really for like parallel quest or online or anything like that. So getting this guy would be pretty cool as well. He already has a pretty decent moveset, I know, and he's just a cool character all around. Like, you know, he's kind of a bigger character. He's not a giant, but he's a little bit bigger. So having him just as a character would be a little unique. And like I said, his moveset's pretty interesting and all that, so having him in the game would be very nice. It's crazy we don't have him, but I don't know, man. It's Xenoverse. They do a lot of questionable stuff. And then next up, we've got Second Form Cell. So I think this was for like a Breakers collab, because if you're not aware, Breakers and Xenoverse, I think, do take place in the same universe or something like that. And yeah, we got Second Form Cell in the game. We fight him. He has a moveset. He has everything set up, but they just didn't drop him as a character. And this guy wasn't in the base game. They designed this model from, you know, from scratch and everything, and they they deliberately decided to not add him as a playable character. So again, I'm just gonna hope they're waiting to throw him into DLC, and I think this would be a good time for that. Is he that exciting? No. Would I rather get Rage Trunks or half-corrupted Zamasu? Probably, but I'd rather have him as a playable character than not. So if they want to just throw him in there, it's better than just getting only 2 characters for this DLC pack, instead of having the 2 Ultra Supervillain characters and then also, you know, Second Form Cell. So I think that would be pretty cool. It's not really that interesting, but still, more playable characters is always a good thing. And then next up, we've got Final Form Mira. This guy was, I think, the final boss in the story. I'm a little rusty on my Xenoverse knowledge. It's been a while, man. This game has been out for like, what, 8 years now? So it's been a minute since I've played through the game, but pretty sure he was the final boss. Don't know why he's not playable. The only reason I could really think of why he's not playable is because he has some raid boss moves, but you could easily just replace those with literally anything else. It really does not matter. Just give him Mira's normal moveset, but just put the model of this guy on there, and then we're golden. We got a new character right there. I mean, of course, that would be pretty lazy for a DLC, and that's not what I want, but I'm just explaining how easy it would be to give this guy an actual playable character, as it would literally everyone here. So just another option I feel like we could get. Is he as exciting as these 2 guys? No, not really, because he's not really a solidified character other than in the Xenoverse lore, but still pretty cool. And again, he's the final boss, so it would make sense that we actually get him as a playable character. And then these next 2 options are a little questionable. So it's Great Apes, just all the Great Apes from the Saiyans, and then we got Cell Max. Now, I think the Great Apes would make sense because, you know, you can fight them in the game. We have Giant Namekian as transformations, so it would actually be pretty cool to get like a Great Ape transformation for the Saiyans, but that's a whole nother thing. Even just getting Great Apes as playable characters for like Saiyan Saga Vegeta, I guess Saiyan Saga Nappa, we could even get one for like Raditz, Bardock, pretty much any of the Saiyans with a tail, would be pretty cool, would make sense. Even Baby has his Great Ape transformation in the game, but obviously you can't play as any Great Apes, so that stuff is restricted. But then giving us those transformations or just those standalone characters will be pretty cool. We don't really know what a giant character's, I guess, playstyle would be. I mean, we do have Namekians, the giant Namekians, but that is a little different. They only have a time limit. And of course, I think they give you a set move set when you go into giant. So with Great Apes, it would be a little different, but I'm sure they could make it work. And then obviously that same playstyle would apply with Cell Max, but he'd already have his moves because, you know, they already gave him some moves in the raids that he's in. So I guess that's pretty much the video. I basically just wanted to go over some characters that could easily be thrown into this DLC pack. All these guys are in the files for the games already, so it would make sense that they become playable. And then people like a Ultra Supervillain Jiren, Ultra Supervillain Broly, some of the Ultra Supervillains of the main bad guys, or even a Gogeta or Vegito would make sense as DLC as well. Of course, there's a lot of other options we could get, like an Akari Broly, a Master Roshi, stuff like that. But I feel like this stuff might be a little bit more realistic because I guess it would just be easier to make. because like with the ultra supervillain characters, you really just reskin an already established character, and then with the characters that are in the game, just not playable, you just make them playable. That's pretty much it. So I feel like something what I mentioned is most likely what's going to happen, but I could be wrong. This video is all speculation. Let me know in the comments who you want the third character of this DLC pack to be, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.